So what? Here. But these are interesting points of perspection, so to speak, that I've been given over time. And be that as it may, I mean, sure, it might be something that could be explored. I don't know how yet. I'm still asking the question. Anyway, as I was sitting in the chair, we were not speaking, and I was deep within myself, and I went to that point of, who am I? He turned to me, and as I turned to look at him, his eyes were deeper than I'd ever seen them. And he simply said, "You are Zendor." And at the same instant, with my eyes wide open, and what I refer to as with my second sight, I saw a door in the heavens open. It was a beautiful, stellar starscape with this door in it, a very large, almost Gothic-looking type door, and it was open. And I thought, wow, this is weird. Definitely got to put this one in the logbook, stick it on the shelf, and deal with it later. So as it was, I'd always wondered if I did have some kind of a solar name or a spiritual name, because, at that point in time, a lot of people were changing their names to their spiritual names, or if not changing, at least taking on spiritual names rather than the names they became from birth. So, as I, supposed to drink, not breathe. As I was going around the state, at this point in time, I had been distributing the Arizona Light and was working with Jackie somewhat. I know most of you are familiar with the Arizona Light. I had been privy to meeting a lot of different people through that, and being introduced to different psychics, for lack of a better, sensitives, that other people had quite a bit of respect for. So during these conversations, we'd be talking, and again, I would take great care in not skewing the information any at all, and we'd get, of course, in those kinds of surroundings, you're always talking about things that are otherworldly, be it out-of-body experiences or extraterrestrials or what have you. So I would, at a convenient time, say, hey, by the way, what do you get from the name Zendor? And each one of them would pause. I would imagine some of you have been familiar with this process, where you just see somebody stop for a moment, go off and check in somewhere else, and then come back and say, oh, yeah. Well, that's kind of the process that took place. And every time I would ask that, I would get the same response. Yeah, he's the commander of a mothership. Well, you can imagine my dilemma. Okay, what the heck's going on with this now? As I went forward, I wasn't sure just how to deal with that, because again, here was something that was totally beyond the normal scope of vision in interacting with society, people in the workplace, basically any place that you would want to go. So, how do you deal with something like that other than just by simply internalizing it and keep asking questions, which is exactly what I did. After several, I'd say probably a couple of years of doing that, I started being a little more open with talking about it, and figured, hey, either this stuff's real or it's not, and it's about time that I found out. So in embarking on different things, I thought, well, I'm going to find out just a little bit more about human interaction and what is available within that. Shortly thereafter, that was in the summer of '88. In the spring of '89, I found myself really in a precarious position. I had been working for an aerospace company and had, for lack of a better, been kicked out. There were several things that took place that led up to that. I had been in a very responsible position. I was responsible for $7 million in shipments a month. Had done quite well with that, so much so that I had the highest statistical rating in our department as far as shipments. Yet I seemed to be sticking a knife in the side of the corporate culture because I was requesting having interpersonal skills classes in our department. I thought that it was necessary because of the types of things that were happening, or should I say that weren't happening, because of the way people dealt with one another. And